Okay, so right now what we have to do is that we're gonna implement a movement for the bird that goes up and down, or in this case it will go down and up. And we do it because it makes the bird look nicer when the scene starts. If we press play right now, we can see that the bird is static, and we want the bird to be simulating that it's flying. And for that we need to create a movement for the bird. But we are not gonna create another animation for the bird. What we're going to do is that we're gonna create a new object. So we're gonna go to the hierarchy and we're gonna create an empty object. We're gonna call this object bird parent, and we're gonna reset the transform position of this object. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to make the bird parent the parent of the bird. So drag the bird to the bird parent, and now the bird has become a child of bird parent. And what we're going to do is that we're going to animate bird parent. So select bird parent and go to the animation window and hit create. And now we're gonna go to our assets. Make sure you're in your assets, inside animations, and inside the animations folder we're gonna create a new folder called bird parent, like this. And inside the bird parent we're gonna create this animation called bird, we can call it maybe up down. Okay, so let's save it, and now we can create animation. So here you can see that there are many buttons. Here in the animation we have the play button that we used before, and we have a red button here. If we press it, we have entered the recording mode. This means that whatever change we do on our game object, it will reflect. So any change that we make to bird parent, it will get saved in here. So right now bird parent is the parent of the bird. So if we move the bird parent, we will move the bird. So let's try to move it. Right now it's at position 0, 0, 0. So we want that position to be there. So we can add a property to the bird parent game object by selecting this add property. And here we have the child, and we have the transform of the parent. So we're going to add the position of the parent. So click add, and now we should be able to have the position of the bird parent. All right, so now we have, you can see that when we add the property, it gives us two keyframes. It gives us the same position at two different times in space. Oh, sorry, at two different points in time. So we have the position 0, 0 at 0, 0, 0 in here, and then when 1 second has passed, we have the same exact position. So maybe at 0, 30, what we could do is here in the scene, we could move the bird a little bit down over here. And now if we press play, we can see that the bird goes up and down like this, so nicely. Maybe it's a little bit too fast. So what we can do is that we can select the first keyframe. So you know that it is selected because it becomes blue, and then hold shift and select the last keyframe. So we select all the keyframes in the animation, and now we can drag the animation to the right like this. So if we press play, we can see that the bird actually goes lower, which is great. All right, so that's a good animation right there. So when we are finished with the animation, we just click this red circle again, and we get out of the recording mode. And now if we press play, we will see that the bird actually goes up and down. That's perfect. All right, so we're going to do the same thing in the game scene. So let's go to our project, to the scenes folder, and we're going to go to the game scene, save our changes. And we're going to do the same thing for this bird. So we're going to create an empty object. We're going to call it bird parent. We're going to reset the transform position. We're going to make the bird the child of bird parent. And here bird parent has a weird name. Let's fix it. All right, so now we have to animate bird parent. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to the animation window and hit create. And inside the assets, the animations folder, and the bird parent, we're going to create another up and down animation. And this one, we can call it up down 2, for example. So it doesn't have the same name as the first animation that we created. And we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to press the recording mode, and we're going to add a property. We're going to add the transform.position of the animation. So it's in here at 0.30. We're going to just move the bird slightly down a little bit. And now we can see that we have the animation here. It's a little bit fast, but we can fix this by selecting the first keyframe, holding shift, selecting the last keyframe, and just dragging the animation a little bit to the right. Hit play, and now we can see that the bird is actually animating. Okay, so we can get out of the recording mode, and now if we press play, here we can see that the bird is actually moving. Okay, so what happens if we play the game now? So let's play the game. So if we play the game now, we can see that the bird, when we die, the bird is moving. Why is this happening? Okay, so this is happening because the bird parent is animating at the beginning of the game, and we're not stopping the animation at any point. So to fix this, or to see this more clearly, what we're going to do is that we're going to go to Window, and we're going to go to Animation, and then we're going to go to Animator. This will open the Animator window. You can drag the Animator window, you can click and hold and drag it up down here a little bit, so you see what's happening. So if we press play, let's see what's happening. We press play, and when the game starts, the animation starts playing. The up and down 2 animation starts playing, because there's a transition from entry directly to the animation. So we play the game, and when we die, the animation keeps playing. It doesn't stop. So we need a way to disable this animation. So to disable the animation, what we can do is the same thing that we did with the bird before. We can create a reference of the bird parent animator inside the bird script, and then we can enable it equal. We can set that enable is equal to false. So we can disable the animator. So let's do it. Let's go to the bird script. So we can go to our scripts, and let's go to our bird script, or we can go directly to Visual Studio if you have it open. And we're going to create a reference to the animator of the bird parent. So in this case it's public, and we say animator, and we're gonna put in here bird parent anim, just to make sure that we know that this is the animator of the bird parent. And now that we have a reference to the bird parent animator, when we die, so when we die here, we're going to make sure that the animation of the bird is equal to false, and the animation of the parent. So instead of doing it here when we die, we're actually going to do it sooner, because if we do it here when we die, it's a little bit too late. We have to do it before. We have to do it, in fact, after we tap the screen for the first time. This would be the right way to do it. So let's do this. So when we tap for the first time, we want to set the gravity to 0.8, and let's set bird parent animator dot enabled equals false. So the first time we tap the screen, then we're gonna is going to be the time where we're going to stop the bird parent animator. So if we click, we save the script, we go back to the Unity editor, and in the bird script, now the bird script is waiting for the bird parent animator reference. So let's give it to it. Let's drag the bird parent to the bird parent animator, and now if we hit Ctrl S and we play the game, we can see that the bird is actually moving, but when we play the game, the animation should have stopped. And as you can see, the bird doesn't move. So everything has worked. Okay. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.